From the moment Ryan Day first stepped into the spotlight of major college football, there was an unmistakable blend of calmness and conviction in the way he carried himself, the kind of presence that didn't require theatrics to be felt. He didn't posture, didn't rely on bravado, didn't demand attention. He earned it naturally, quietly, and consistently. For many coaches, the path to prominence is loud, filled with headlines, controversy, or larger-than-life personalities. But Ryan Day's journey has always been marked by steadiness, humility, and an unwavering devotion to something deeper than fame, the pursuit of excellence and the responsibility of leadership. This tribute is a reflection of the man who took one of the most storied programs in all of sports and guided it with a rare blend of intelligence, emotional strength, and compassion. So settle in, because we're going to walk through the story of a coach whose impact extends far beyond the hash marks and into the lives of countless players and families who found hope and direction through his guidance. Ryan Day's story begins long before Ohio State, long before the national stages and the playoff races and the rivalries that define the Buckeye universe. His childhood in New Hampshire shaped him in ways that would form the bedrock of his coaching identity. He faced adversity early, losing his father at just 9 years old, a tragedy that could have shattered many young lives. Instead, Ryan learned resilience through his mother, Lisa, a woman whose strength became a blueprint for the emotional intelligence he would later show as a leader. Growing up in a household touched by loss, he developed a sensitivity to the struggles of others, an understanding that people carry burdens unseen, and that compassion is not weakness but a powerful form of strength. This piece of his upbringing would become one of the defining elements of his coaching career. As a young athlete, Ryan found his sanctuary on the football field. It was where the noise quieted, where structure met passion, and where he discovered both confidence and community. He was a gifted quarterback at Manchester Central High School, showing early signs of the poise and vision that would eventually define him as a coach. But he was also a student of the game, someone who cared as much about the why as the what, someone whose curiosity seemed endless. That intellectual hunger carried him to the University of New Hampshire, where he played QB under Chip Kelly, a mentor whose influence would follow him throughout his coaching life. Ryan wasn't the flashiest player, nor the loudest, but he was undeniably one of the smartest, understanding the game on a level that would prove invaluable in the years ahead. The transition from playing to coaching came naturally for Ryan. He understood instinctively that his greatest strengths, communication, teaching, and strategic vision, were best suited for leading others. His early coaching stops were not glamorous: graduate assistant roles, smaller positions, long nights, relentless work. But Ryan approached every job with humility and hunger. He was never in a rush to arrive, never fixated on shortcuts. Instead, he built his foundation brick by brick, mastering offensive schemes, learning how to motivate different personalities, and growing into a mentor with the emotional awareness that separated him from the typical authoritarian style that dominates football. Ryan believed in connection, in meeting players where they were, and in helping them become not only better athletes, but better men. His connection with Chip Kelly extended into the NFL, where Day sharpened his coaching intellect even further. Working with the Eagles and 49ers under Kelly exposed him to the highest and most demanding level of football. The NFL does not allow half measures. It tests everything: your schemes, your communication, your patience, your resilience. Ryan thrived in that environment, proving himself capable of designing and teaching elite-level offense. His understanding of quarterbacks grew more sophisticated, his ability to simplify complex concepts evolved, and his reputation quietly spread through coaching circles. But the NFL also taught him something else: that his greatest impact would not be found in professional football. It was the college environment, with its opportunity to shape young men during the most important years of their lives, that truly called to him. When Ohio State came knocking, Ryan Day stepped into a program already towering in prestige. But from the moment he arrived in Columbus, something was different. There was a clarity, a sense of alignment between who Ryan was and what the Buckeyes represented. He wasn't there to chase headlines. He wasn't there to be a personality. He was there to teach, to build, to elevate. As the offensive coordinator, he quickly transformed the Buckeyes' attack into one of the most efficient and explosive units in the nation. His approach to quarterback development was nothing short of extraordinary. Players flourished under him, not only because of his XS and OS, but because he took time to understand their minds, their motivations, their fears. He saw quarterbacks as people first, athletes second. When he was named the program's head coach, Ryan Day inherited expectations unlike any in sports. Few jobs come with more pressure. Few brands come with more eyes watching. But Ryan didn't flinch. He carried the role with the same calm, thoughtful demeanor that had defined him since childhood. Under his leadership, Ohio State thrived. His teams played with discipline, with precision, with fire. He led the Buckeyes to the college football playoff, to conference championships, to victories built on preparation and trust. Yet what made him special wasn't just the wins. Though they were plentiful, it was how he won. Players spoke endlessly about the way Ryan cared for them as human beings. He checked on their mental health. He advocated publicly for suicide prevention, sharing his own childhood trauma to help others feel seen and supported. He showed a level of honesty uncommon in sports, breaking the stigma around mental health and giving countless young athletes the courage to speak up. Ryan Day's leadership blended sharp football intellect with profound emotional intelligence. He had the rare ability to stand in a locker room, surrounded by athletes from every walk of life, and make each one feel valued. He knew when to be stern and when to be supportive. He knew how to challenge players without breaking them. He knew how to earn loyalty through consistency, not intimidation. And above all, he understood that coaching was about building relationships. That philosophy changed the way Ohio State operated. It created a culture defined by brotherhood, discipline, and belief. A culture that players felt proud to fight for. A culture that parents trusted. On the field, Ryan became known for his offensive brilliance. His quarterback rooms produced some of the most distinguished talents in modern college football, athletes who praised him not only for what he taught them, but for who he helped them become. His offenses were dynamic, adaptive, and relentless, blending tempo with precision, aggression with intelligence. Yet behind every scheme was a coach who saw the bigger picture. That football is at its core a game about people, about trust, about unity. That understanding is what truly made him elite. Off the field, Ryan's life was shaped by the unwavering support of his wife, Nina, and their children. Their family became a symbol of stability and love for the players who often lived far from home. Nina's work in mental health advocacy aligned seamlessly with Ryan's mission, forming a partnership dedicated to the well-being of young people. Together, they built not just a football culture, but a community impact far beyond the stadium. Their foundation, their public advocacy, and their private acts of kindness changed lives quietly and profoundly. Players spoke not only of a coach they would run through walls for, but of a family that made them feel safe, welcomed, and understood. What makes Ryan Day's story so powerful is the way he leads with authenticity. He never pretends to be something he isn't. He doesn't scream for the sake of screaming. He doesn't need theatrics to command respect. His strength comes from honesty, from consistency, from empathy. In an arena where intensity often overshadows compassion, Ryan stands as proof that kindness and competitiveness can coexist, that a leader can be both fierce and gentle, both strategic and compassionate. He carries the emotional wisdom of someone who endured hardship early in life, transforming personal pain into professional purpose. Through every season, the victories, the heartbreaks, the rivalries that defined entire years, Ryan Day remained grounded. He never lost sight of the privilege and responsibility of guiding young athletes. Every game plan, every meeting, every moment was shaped by the same fundamental belief: that football is a tool for building character, courage, and resilience. And every player who passed through his program carried a piece of his influence with them, long after their final snap. Today, Ryan Day stands as one of the most respected names in college football, not because he chases accolades, but because he earns respect through action. His players speak of him with admiration. His colleagues speak of him with reverence. Fans speak of him with loyalty. His legacy, still unfolding, will be defined not only by the championships he contends for, but by the lives he shapes, the families he supports, and the emotional strength he brings to a sport that demands everything from the people who love it. Thank you for spending this time reflecting on the remarkable journey, leadership, and humanity of Ryan Day. If you enjoyed this deep, emotional, long-form tribute, and want more stories that honor the coaches and athletes who inspire us through character and passion, make sure to come back for more. Your time, your presence, and your support truly mean the world.